Hey everyone! So this is the second part of the video. My piece is completely dry. I've erased my chalk lines and we just have a few more steps before we finish. Now, I don't do a whole lot of top dotting on this piece. I feel like it's pretty busy as it is. I don't want to make it any busier, but there are a few top dots we're going to do right here in the middle. And then we're going to glue on our rhinestones. So the first step is a 6mm tool and pearl white. And we're going to create our center top dot with our 6mm in the pearl white. And then what we're going to do is around the center here where these silver teardrops are, we are going to come in with our 4mm tool and we're going to make a teardrop on top. So we're going to create a 4mm dot in the center. And then we're going to take a small stylus and just pull that into a smaller teardrop. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to get some of our background colors. So whatever you use on your background, just get a little bit of that. And you're going to want to get a 2mm stylus. So we've got these teardrop shapes here out kind of in this middle ring. And I'm going to use a 2mm stylus. And I am going to just make a dot in the middle and pull right down that teardrop. So there are 8 teardrops, and so we repeat this 8 times. after you're done with those 8 swipes there, I'm going to continue using this 2mm tool, and where we have these double dots, I'm going to dip and dot and dip and dot on top. So 2mm stylus, zinc, we're going to go outside to these large petals here, and I'm going to go to the outermost dot at the top of that petal. I'm going to use my 2mm stylus, and I'm just going to place 1 dot as the top dot here. Now that is it for the top dots. Like I said, I don't want to go too crazy with those. I feel like this is just the right amount of finished. And the final step is to add our rhinestones. And I'm using 7x15 horse eye rhinestones with the AB. AB just stands for Aurora Borealis. And it doesn't pick up as much on camera, but it's got a little bit of color to it. I like using these, especially on a piece where there's not a whole lot of color. It doesn't add too much, but it adds a little bit of color to the piece, especially when we're working kind of in monochromes like this. So you're going to gather those up. I've got I've got glue in my paint cup here. I'm just using some tacky glue because it dries clear. You really can just use Elmer's glue, especially if you're going to varnish or seal it. That will help hold it in. But what we're going to do first is up here in these shapes, we are going to add in our teardrops. Be careful as you do this. You do not want to put your arm in any wet paint. So I'm just going to use a small stylus here, get some glue. And then I like to use either tweezers, or if you've got one of these rhinestone sticks, you can use that. But we're just going to place these in the center. Oops. Sorry, this one's got a little chip on the bottom. I just want to get that so it lays flat. So we've got 8 up there in the middle section, and then all around the edge we have a total of 16. So I'm going to do 8 at a time, just because I don't want my glue to dry out before I can place my pieces. once you place all of your rhinestones, you are finished. And this is one of my favorite pieces. I love 12-inch pieces because they are beautiful as wall art. They are beautiful sitting on an easel, on a table, or on a shelf. And this design is just soft and pretty. It's got a little bit of sparkle to it, which I love, but it's also just a beautiful color palette that would go in pretty much any setting. So I absolutely love this piece. I hope you have enjoyed creating it as well. I would love it if you would share with me. You can always tag me on the socials at Tara Lynn Pugh Artist. You can also join our Facebook group. Our public Facebook group is free, and you can share any works that you create with me in there. It's called Mandala Artists USA. And then we also have a private space called the Share Space on my website platform, and you can share in there. I would love to see what you create. Thank you so much for joining me. What I would do at this point is let this completely dry, and then I encourage you to varnish it. I always varnish my pieces with Decoart Triple Thick. Let me show you what that looks like here. Of course, you can use the varnish of your choice, but I like this. It gives a nice, thick, very glossy finish on your piece, and then display it. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed Lady in Silver, and I'll see you in the next workshop.